The wind howled across the vast emptiness of the desert, a land forgotten by time. The sun had set long ago, leaving only the pale light of the moon to cast shadows over the cursed plains. This is Black Hollow, where no soul dares to linger after dark. The air was thick with the scent of dust and decay, and the trees, twisted, blackened, reached out like skeletal hands, clawing at the night. The land itself seemed to hold its breath. In the distance, the sound of a lone horse's hooves echoed against the barren land. Samuel Slick Doyle rode through the darkness, his silhouette sharp against the moonlight. A man of few words and many sins, Samuel had been here before, but never at night. The rumors had always kept him away, but now he had come back, chasing the thing that had haunted him for years, the Hollow Man. The stories were old, passed down by the few settlers that had dared to settle near Black Hollow. Whispers in the wind, murmurs in the night. A figure, tall and thin, who wandered the desert. A shadow that walked like a man, but was something much worse. They said no one had seen him and lived to tell the tale. But Samuel had to know. The haunting was unbearable. The terror had followed him across miles of dust and desert until he couldn't run anymore. The Hollow Man had to be real. It had to be. The horse beneath Samuel, a black steed named Phantom, picked up speed as they approached the heart of the cursed land. Samuel's hand rested on the grip of his revolver. Though he had little faith it would do him any good. His mind raced. Was he hunting the creature, or had it already begun hunting him? The air grew colder as they neared the center of Black Hollow, and Samuel could feel the weight of the land, heavy with secrets. The silence here was unnatural, thick and pressing. Even the wind seemed to stop, as though the earth itself was holding its breath. Phantom snorted nervously, his hooves clicking on the dry earth, the only sound in the stillness. Then it came. A low, dragging sound from somewhere deep in the shadows. Samuel pulled the reins, stopping Phantom dead in his tracks. His heart pounded, his grip tightening around the revolver as the sound grew louder, closer, and then there, just at the edge of his vision, something moved. A shape, tall, thin, cloaked in shadows. Samuel's breath caught in his chest. It wasn't a man, it wasn't a beast. It was something worse, a thing that moved like the darkness itself, the Hollow Man. For a long moment, neither man nor creature moved. The moonlight caught the figure's eyes, black as the deepest night, and Samuel felt the chill run down his spine. This wasn't a man. This was a curse. Then, the figure spoke. "You cannot escape," the Hollow Man said, his voice low, almost like a whisper, but it echoed through Samuel's very soul. "This land is mine, and now, so are you." Samuel reached for his gun, but before he could pull it free, the creature moved. It didn't run, it didn't walk, it just glided. Its form shifted, bending around the moonlight, and in an instant, it was upon him. The Hollow Man's long fingers wrapped around Samuel's throat, lifting him from the saddle as though he weighed nothing. Samuel struggled, but it was useless. The Hollow Man's grip tightened, and for the first time in his life, Samuel felt the true meaning of fear. The kind that sank deep into your bones. The kind that told you there was no escape. The Hollow Man's face was no face at all. It was a void, just darkness, empty and cold. And in those eyes, Samuel saw his own death, a death that had been waiting for him since the moment he first rode into Black Hollow. His vision began to blur. He couldn't breathe. The world around him seemed to spin and shift, and he heard the Hollow Man whisper again. You are mine now, forever. The grip around his throat loosened for just a moment, and in that instant, Samuel's hand found his revolver. He fired twice, but the bullets passed through the hollow man as though they were nothing, the darkness swallowing them whole. Samuel's heart pounded. His body grew weaker. The hollow man's grip returned, tightening once more. The moon watched silently as Samuel's body went still, the terror frozen on his face. His hand still clutched the revolver, but it was too late. He was lost. The hollow man faded back into the night, vanishing as though he had never been there at all. The desert was quiet once more. Samuel lay in the dirt, his body still, his soul claimed by the cursed land. Black Hollow had taken another, and in the distance, a faint whisper of wind stirred the air. Another soul was waiting to join the others who had wandered too close to the darkness. And now, no one will ever leave.